Now, recently, a well-known Chinese comedian, Zhou Libo, caused a bit of a stir with his satirical comments on the plight of Chinese soccer. He said, if anyone feels bored with today's TV soaps, just take a look at Chinese soccer. It has a convoluted plot that deals with money, sex, violence, and the raw struggle for power. His words elicited more than 13 million responses on China's popular microblogging service Weibo, and what Zhou said seems to have struck a chord with many fans and indeed those outside the game. Football has been rocked by scandals involving players paying for prostitutes, refusing to train sometimes, match fixing, gambling, coaches and referees and other officials taking bribes, and of course some huge boardroom battles. But what upsets most soccer fans is that despite the huge popularity of the game at grassroots level, China's performance at an international level is disappointing, to say the least. The best the country has managed in recent years is to reach the last 32, and that was in the 2002 World Cup. And very few Chinese players actually make it to the big international leagues or to the big clubs, despite that huge pool of players that exists in the country. So just what do people feel is wrong with soccer in China? Our researcher Wang Biao went out on the streets of Beijing to ask.
What do you think about the state of Chinese soccer? Is there anything that can be done to improve it?
I think that Chinese soccer has no future. The game's not interesting anymore. There's no point in continuing. There have been so many scandals and controversies around Chinese soccer, it's boring. As far as I'm concerned, the players can rest as long as they want.
I think physical strength is the weakest point of Chinese soccer players. Plus, can't football properly in China because it's not led by the clubs or coaches, but the politicians.
It's unbelievable that we can't find a few good soccer players from a population of 1.3 billion. Chinese people have the potential to be champions, so I think the problem lies with the football clubs.
Players' basic skills and technical ability aren't up to international standards. Our soccer team has a long way to go. There's no hope that the Chinese soccer team can compete with those star teams in the immediate future. Maybe it's possible in 5 or 10 years' time.
I don't watch much Chinese soccer, but I believe someday China can become a world champion. Chinese players are as good as foreign players, except they may be a little weaker in terms of physical strength.
There's no real attempt to develop teenage players. Star teams like Barcelona and Real Madrid start developing players from the age of 5 or 6. Plus, our education system is another big problem. If kids spend too much time practicing soccer, they can fall behind in their studies. I wish the top clubs would begin developing players from a younger age. But revitalizing our football is not a short-term project. It'll take a long time.